Hey, welcome back to Strength Secrets and session 11. So today you're going to need a tennis ball, lacrosse ball. If you get another ball that you can toss and catch, even a tissue if you wanted to toss and catch. If you don't have a ball, that's great. We also will need the ISO strap, so the training strap if you have one. If not, you can do the weights. Do the movements body weight. This is about take 17 on this one, so if I misspeak once or twice, I'm not going to roll it back. I've had some tech challenges with a new laptop, and who knew that when things are new, sometimes they actually, in the tech world, don't function perfectly. But let's go ahead and warm up. I'm going to have you do a little toss and catch with the tennis ball. And then let's go into a tandem stance with one foot in front of the other, linear fashion. And a few of those, and then switch sides. Woo! And after you switch sides, switch feet. So bring the other foot in front. Kind of getting on the imaginary balance beam here, warming up the foot and the ankle. And really push the toes into the ground. Imagine grabbing the floor a little bit with the toes. And let's go into a lunge position. With the lunge position, I want you to toss hand to hand. So go right to left now. Good. And then let's switch your lunge and toss and catch right to left. So warming up hand-eye coordination. And got a little coordination challenge for you here. In a second too, we're going to do a drop and catch, and really it's a drop, slap, and catch. So we're going to drop the ball, slap the same side leg, and then catch the ball. So it looks like that. And we're going same side, hand to leg. Nice job. Let's try it on the other side. So quick drop of the hand. You can get into a little squat position to assist in tracking and getting under the ball if you need to. Let's do that again, but now I want you to go cross body and catch. So we're going to drop on one side, cross, slap the opposite leg, and catch. Just like that. Good job. Let's switch sides. Nice. From there, let's go ahead and go into a little bit of bouncing. And we'll warm up the ankles, the lower leg, and get into our assess, reassess. We got 4 muscles to work on today, a couple in the abdominal area, one that works with your diaphragm and your respiratory system. So really important for good breathing mechanics and getting nice, deep, full breaths in and really full exhales back out too. Good. From there, let's go ahead. And we're going to do a little bit of a hip turn drill. So we're going to rotate the hips and hip turn to the side. 90 degrees, come back. 90 degrees, come back. So see if you can start to pivot that a little bit quicker if you're comfortable with it. Just side to side on those 90 degree turns. And always coming back to the middle. Nice job. Woo. That'll get the heart rate up. So let's go inside ankle tilt. We're going to drop to the inside of that ankle. Bonus points if you want to do a little tennis ball, lacrosse ball dribbling, and outside ankle tilt. Gently press into the outside of that ankle with the foot slightly forward and pressing out on the other foot. Let's go into knee circles together, same knees at the same time. Coming around the circle and then opposite direction. Nice job. Again, bonus points for a ball dribble or a ball toss and catch. Let's move up to the hip. So we're going to bring one leg up. Float that foot side to side. Hip pendulum drill. And same thing on the other one. You got this. Way to stay tall. Way to breathe. Great posture. And from there, let's do a little bit of hip circling. So we're going to hold on to something if you need to. Bring the leg all the way around, make a big circle through that hip. And then let's see if we can do that with the foot turned in. All right, a little different stretch through that hip and hip circle. So try to keep that foot turned in, coming around and through. And then same thing on the other side. So hold on if you need to. Go ahead and point the foot forward or neutral foot. Big hip circle, staying tall. And then work on turning that foot in again on that side. And reverse, still foot turned in. Nice, and then from there, let's go ahead and do some walkouts. So this is like an inchworm or a walkout drill into a plank position. We're gonna walk out to the plank and then come back in. So go ahead, reach down, we're gonna inchworm out, brace and plank, start to connect the core, upper body and lower body, integrate things together a little bit here. Go out, brace, nice job, and then come back. Let's reach up, take a deep breath. Exhale all that air out. Breathe in again a little bit, and we're gonna inchworm one more time. And nice, coming back up. Let's go back to, or let's actually start with going into upper body now. So elbow circles, coming around, lock the elbow, reverse direction. Nice job. Let's shoulder circle, one arm in front, one arm to the side, and then reverse it. See if you can take, if your thumbs are up, take them to the outside, add a little novelty into what we're doing. Go the other way, thumbs out, and then reverse direction. And let's go to thumbs down. See if we can go all the way into internal shoulder rotation and then shake that out. Nice. All right, so you're gonna wrist circle. And let's see if we can wrist circle up here. So a little novelty, different position. And let's see if we can wrist circle behind. Nice. All right. We're gonna do a few quick, just opening and closing of the hand. So squeeze, release, make a fist, fast, release, fast, release. Good. All right, so once you take a couple really fast, full inhales and then fast, full exhales. So we're gonna warm up that respiratory system, get some brain activation going here too. So fast, full inhale, fast, full exhale. So let's try through the nose, fast, full in, fast, full out. Go, get it all out. Back in and out. Keep going all out. All right, nice. All right, from there, we're gonna get into the external obliques, which is muscle right here, kind of sits above the front hip pocket. It's a flexor, and we're gonna assess range of motion that has to do with flexion today too. So you could do a toe touch, standing knees locked, forward bend, see what range of motion you got. I'm gonna keep going back and forth to the floor for assessment today, where we get into kind of this V sit. Your feet could be a little narrow or a little wider based on your comfort level. And we're gonna drop forward into, I think this is called the pancake. So we're gonna rock forward, see how comfortable that range of motion is. If you're not putting your face on the floor, that's okay. Get as far as you can. Think about where your eyes, maybe that line of your eyes is lining up with. Is it your thigh? Is it your knee? Is it your shin? And just kind of get an assessment of, okay, how far can I get into that flexion comfortably? And after you've done 4, 5, 6, 7, make sure that's really warmed up. We're going to start into the isometrics. Might want to hang out there for a second, get an idea for how tight that feels. So for subjective tension, I would say I'm at like an 8 or a 9 when I'm in that full range of motion in the hamstrings, in the adductors, and the inner thigh. So if that subjective even feeling of intense stretch goes down over the course of the session, the movements here in the isometrics, we'll know maybe we're on the right track. And those may be movements, again, to make note of in terms of using them consistently. So do try to work these in consistently to your weeks. Another thing, we're doing 10-second holds typically with this program. So go back through the program and see if you can add a 10-second, maybe 20 seconds to that, where you're up to 30-second holds. And then you can also go into those stretches and hold for 30 seconds. You'll find a lot of value, and additional strength and endurance is going to come from adding that in. So if you got your strap, we're going to go ahead, make some fists holding onto the strap. From there, with the external oblique, I want you to get into a knee bend. We're going to do a posterior tuck or posterior tilt to the pelvis. So posterior tilt means tailbone kind of comes underneath. We're then going to laterally tilt, ipsilaterally, or towards the side that we want to work. So for me, it's the right side right here. And I'm going to lateral tilt, and then I'm going to flex the trunk forward slightly and go into a little bit more of lateral flexion towards that side. Then I'm going to rotate away from that side and exhale. On the exhale, I should feel tension right here. And squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. And then ease out of that. Relax the tension. We're going to stretch that side now. So we want to go into an anterior tilt in the pelvis. I'm going to laterally tilt the pelvis away from that side. I'm going to side bend away from that side. So I got the pelvis drop down on this side, lateral bend, and I'm going to extend a little bit. And as we inhale now, the inhale is going to increase the stretch. So deep breath in, and we're trying to lengthen here. So you can add a little extension, add a little bend if you need to. Breathe in again and feel that stretch increase, and then ease out of it. Really nice work. We're next going to go into similar setup, but opposite side, right? So we're always going to work right and left. Unless you know you really need to work on one side, then maybe you just stick on that side and do 2 reps. So we're going to tuck the pelvis. We're going to hike the pelvis up now to the left. We're going to flex the trunk forward, so forward bending a little bit. I'm going to laterally flex now to the left, and then I'm going to rotate away from the left. So I'm rotating right, and this is the spot that we're shooting for. Tension it and exhale. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Pulling into the straps, creating some flexion in the fists, and a little more side bend and forward bend. Rotation away, 2, 1, and hopefully you got a good full exhale. That can really enhance that isometric contraction there in the obliques. So when we work in the abdomen, breathing really sometimes facilitates, and in the neck too, facilitates a better contraction and then maybe a better lengthening. To stretch that left side, we're going to go ahead and anterior tilt the pelvis. We're going to hike up and away. So we're going to stretch this side now. We're going to side bend away. We're going to extend, and then as you inhale, you could gently add in a little bit more bend or extend, and deep breath in is going to create that nice lengthening stretch. Good job. That is our external oblique, right side and left side. Let's retest. So if you're doing standing forward bend, go ahead and knock that out. Otherwise, if you're doing the V-sit pancake with me, retest and see what you got. And so subjective stretch sensation has decreased a little bit, probably at a 6 out of 10 instead of an 8 or 9 now. So seeing a little bit of improvement. Range of motion is pretty similar, maybe a smidge more. So hopefully you're seeing a good positive shift on that one too. The next one we're going to work on is the peroneus longus and brevis. So our peroneals, they've now been renamed the fibularis muscle group, which they attach to the fibula, or the bone on the outside of the leg here. And so in anatomy, sometimes they like to make it complicated. So in the last few years, they've renamed the peroneals to now fibularis muscle group. And so with these, we're going to dorsiflex or pull the toes up, and then we're going to evert the foot. That's it. So it's a simple one. We're going to squeeze this muscle group right here, the peroneals, and we're going to try to pull the metatarsal, which is right behind that big toe, the first metatarsal. We're going to pull that bottom of the foot space up to the outside and then up towards the lateral surface of the knee. And as you pull up, you should feel tension developing here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 2, 1, and relax out. Nice. When we go to the stretch, it's opposite movements in the foot and ankle. So we're going to point, plantar flex the foot, and then invert the foot. So as we drop that big toe, metatarsal, first metatarsal down towards the floor and away from the outside of the knee now, you should feel lengthening. You can set the foot down and kind of assist, get a little bit more pull there, if that helps. And then same thing on the other side. So for the contraction, we're going to dorsiflex, evert the foot, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze here. We're pulling this base, especially over behind the big toe, up towards the outside of the knee. Go 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then let's stretch. So we're going to plantar flex, point the foot, and drop the toes in and get a nice stretch if you want to. Again, we can kind of gently press that lateral side of the foot into the floor and increase that stretch through the fibulari or the peroneals, whichever you prefer. So that's that one. Let's reassess and see what your range of motion did. If you're forward bending, go for it. If you are pancaking, go for that. And that feels comfortable, more comfortable to drop into. So probably at a 5 or a 6 now. And just something that you'll notice too, if you're doing range of motion testing and you were sort of hesitant when we started, and now you just have seen an increase in confidence. A lot of times that goes hand in hand with an increase in speed. So if somebody's like doing a shoulder range of motion and they're moving like this, pretty tentative, I'll kind of think, okay, they're not totally confident in that movement yet. And then if, a few minutes later, they're whipping that arm up there, still achieving same or better range of motion, we're like, we did something positive from a muscle synergy and a movement confidence standpoint. And that's a good sign. Next one we're going into is the internal going into intercostals. And these muscles have to do with breathing. So this is the one if you're doing some diaphragm breathing or you're doing some respiratory practice, good one to couple with some of that practice. The intercostals contract and help us with achieving a nice full exhale and bringing the ribs together. So our ribs that attach here into the sternum, so right here midline, that's where our intercostal attachments are. So we want to think about kind of from here to the midline right along the line of the sternum there. That medial surface of the ribs is where we have intercostal attachments for this internal intercostal group. External intercostals, more on the external surface, external part of the body. So with this one, we're going to use the strap again. I want you to go ahead and get into slight knee bend. We're going to pick a side. I'm going to go to my right, and we're going to laterally flex towards that side to start to create some muscle contraction. Then we're going to rotate towards that side. So this is a fairly simple one. It's just those two movements, but we're going to drive a really, really full focused exhale. And so as you focus on lateral bend and rotation towards that side, getting that focus again somewhere in that sternum rib cage area. Exhale fully and contract hard. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Add rotation if you want. 1, and relax out. Nice job. That's the contraction. Now we're going to go ahead and repeat the opposite two movements. So going the other way, instead of rotating towards, we're going to rotate away from that side now. So we're side bending away, rotating away, and then instead of exhale, we want a nice full inhale. Could add a little rotation, add a little side bend, add a little inhale, and you should feel a nice stretch there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. easier way out of that. Really good. Can you use the strap again? So again, you can do this body weight, or if you want, you can use the strap. We're going to go ahead, set up, make some fists on the strap. Make sure you're pulling on the shoulders and not on your neck with this one. So we're going to side bend now the other way to contract here through those internal intercostals. We're going to rotate towards that side and exhale fully. Go, go, go. 5, 4, contract, contract. Focus on that midline, sternum, and the ribs on that side. And relax out. Nice. From there, let's stretch again. We're going to lengthen out that side. So we're going to side bend. And we're going to rotate away instead of rotating towards. Add a little more side bend. And then inhale. Nice big breath in. Add a little more rotation maybe. Add a little more side bend. And let's breathe in a little more. And hold that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing out of it. Nice job. Let's repeat your assessment for range of motion, see where we're at. Another interesting one to retest would be coordination. So maybe we'll do that here at the end. We're going to go ahead into the flexion range of motion. And it feels a little bit more comfy just to stay there and actually take some breaths in that position. So good indication that that might be a winner or a good take home, a good repeat drill. So if you're finding drills like that, definitely want to make a note and then come back through and maybe repeat with longer contractions. So try a 20-second or a 30-second contraction. You might find even more benefit from that longer hold and a little bit more work on the endurance and mental focus into that muscle group. So from there, we're going to go into some muscles, a muscle group along the spine. So our erector spinae longissimus, and it's a mouthful, right? Erector spinae longissimus. It attaches base of the skull down to the same side of the top of the pelvis. So a long muscle group runs the length of the spinal cord or spinal column. And so we'll set it up. This one, let's go without the strap actually. So we're going to start out knees bent, and then we're going to create an anterior tilt in the pelvis, meaning tailbone drives back behind us. We're going to go into same side lateral flexion, same side rotation, and then same side extension. So I'm going to extend back. I want, if you're comfortable with it, head and neck to be involved slightly. We're rotated, we're side bending, and we're extending all towards that one side. We can also then add a lateral tilt to the pelvis. We're going to try to bring the side of the pelvis up on the side that we're rotated and side bended in towards. So for me, it'd be left side here. Hiking the pelvis up, still keeping the tailbone pushed out back behind me. And then add in head and neck, hold the pelvic position. Should feel that muscle contraction, those muscles along the spine. Whew. And ease out of that. When we go ahead and go to the stretch, now we're going to tuck the tailbone. We're going to hike the pelvis up the other way. So instead of hiking this way, I'm going to hike this way. This tailbone's tucked. I'm going to side bend the opposite way, rotate away, and then start to flex forward. So I'm adding opposite rotation. Now from the base of the skull down through this other side of the pelvis, we're creating as much length as possible as we flex, rotate, and add a little side bend away. You can breathe into that. Sometimes the inhale there again is going to increase your stretch sensation. That's the first side. Let's go ahead and knock out the other side. Get a good 10-second hold once we're in position. So knees bent. Again, going to anterior tilt the pelvis. So I'm tipping that pelvic bowl forward. Tailbone drives back. I'm going to hike the pelvis towards the side where I'm going to work. I'm going to rotate to that side bend to that side, extend or arch back, and then add in a little bit of head and neck if you're comfortable with it, and add a little more side bend rotation and extension, and then hold all that together. Keep the pelvis hiked up on that side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, ease out of it. Hopefully get a nice strong contraction there. We're gonna then drop the pelvis into posterior tilt, tailbone tuck, hike it the other way. We're gonna side bend the other way, rotate away, flex forward, and then add all of that from the top of the pelvis to the base of the skull. Keep lengthening, lengthening, rotating away, side bending away. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You could inhale and increase that stress. Nice job. Let's retest range of motion. Then I want to recheck on your coordination too. So we'll get the tennis ball or lacrosse ball back out. And here we go. Just retest. And still probably at a 5-ish, 5, 6 on the stretch intensity or sensation. Does definitely feel more comfortable than where we started. So I hope that's the case for you too. And let's check on coordination and balance a little bit. So let's go ahead and stack one foot directly in front of the other. We're going to do a couple toss and catches on one side and then toss and catch on that other side. Good. Switch feet. Nice way to see the ball, as they say. And then let's do our drop and catch. Let's do every other. So let's go same side leg slap, opposite side leg slap, same side leg slap, opposite side leg slap. And we're always dropping the ball on that first side. Woo. Maybe not better. Cross, same side. Cross, same side. Nice job. Other hand, let's try that out. Same side, go across, same side, go across, same side. Nice. So session 11, we covered another 4 muscle groups. So we're somewhere in the 30 plus muscle groups. Some of the key ones from really our full body. Today we did a couple key ones for the core, so our back, along the spine, and then abdominal area, external obliques, internal intercostals. Keep practicing them, and by the time we finish, we got 2 more in the final session. We'll be over 35 muscle groups, so way to knock it out. You guys are awesome. The last session, we're gonna retest again, so get your retesting energy, your retesting batteries ready to go, and I'll look forward to seeing you then. Thanks.